welcome to this explainer. If you and your partner are on the journey to growing your family, you've likely realized that there is just a vast, overwhelming sea of information out there. Well, today we are completely cutting through the noise. We're breaking down a comprehensive, science-backed guide to understanding and proactively improving male fertility. And we're going to arm you with actionable steps you can start taking right now. Here is our roadmap for today. First, what makes sperm healthy? Second, lifestyle and diet adjustments. Third, environment and gear tweaks. And finally, when to see a doctor. All right, section 1, what makes sperm healthy? Let's establish our baseline. We are talking about massive numbers here. Normal semen contains anywhere from 40 million to a staggering 300 million sperm per single milliliter. To put that into perspective, a medically defined low count falls somewhere between 10 and 20 million. Now, when you're facing volumes that huge, it's pretty easy to assume that only the absolute highest numbers are going to result in a pregnancy. But science actually tells us a slightly different story. Here's the really crucial takeaway. Raw numbers aren't everything. In fact, even a count of 20 million can be perfectly adequate to achieve pregnancy. Why? Because true male reproductive health is kind of like a three-legged stool. It relies equally on the health of the individual sperm, the concentration or the amount, and the overall volume of the semen. So if you have fewer sperm, but they're exceptionally healthy and highly concentrated, your chances of conception remain absolutely solid. Section 2, lifestyle and diet adjustments. Let's look at the changes you can make every day. Okay, so if you want the highest return on your investment here, you've got to start with weight management. Studies consistently show that losing weight, especially for those with a higher body mass index, is a literal game changer for increasing volume, concentration, and mobility. And the absolute best way to do it, research points straight to weightlifting and getting outdoors to exercise. Pair that active lifestyle with some essential vitamins like C, D, E, and CoQ10 while completely steering clear of substance abuse, and you are building an incredibly strong foundation. Speaking of vitamins, let's zoom in on vitamin C for a second. Taking exactly 1,000 milligrams every single day is proven to be remarkably effective. Now, it's not going to magically force your body to produce a higher quantity out of nowhere, but it optimizes what you already have. It makes your existing sperm significantly more concentrated and, frankly, just a lot more efficient at moving. At the end of the day, this is really a game of inputs and outputs. You obviously want to maximize the positive inputs, like vitamin D, which is directly linked to higher successful pregnancy rates. But on the flip side, you have to strictly minimize the negative inputs. Heavy drinking, any kind of tobacco use, and illegal drugs, yes, that definitely includes cocaine and anabolic steroids, are just deeply linked to plummeting sperm counts. It's simply not worth the risk. Section 3, environment and gear tweaks. Time to look at external factors. Sometimes the biggest hurdle isn't internal at all. It might be lurking in your garage or your workplace. We are talking about endocrine disruptors. If your job or even just a weekend hobby exposes you to heavy metals, solvents, pesticides, or non-water-based glues, you absolutely need a mitigation strategy. The golden rule: take a shower and change your clothes immediately after you're exposed. Also keep in mind that excessive heat or sitting completely sedentary for too long can lower your count. Honestly, if these toxins are tied to a hobby, it might just be time to press pause on it until you've successfully conceived. Now, here's a pretty surprising question regarding your weekly fitness routine. We literally just praised outdoor exercise a minute ago, but could your beloved bicycle actually be working against your fertility goals? Well, the magic, or maybe problematic number here, is 5. Science shows that bicycling for more than 5 hours a week is directly associated with a lower sperm concentration. But hey, don't hang up your helmet just yet. Simply making sure you have a proper bike fit is a highly effective, really small tweak that mitigates this risk. It's a perfect example of how one minor adjustment to your gear can yield massive reproductive benefits. Finally, let's talk about something you wear every single day: your underwear. Swapping out tight synthetic fabrics for loose cotton boxers or cotton briefs, if that's your style, is absolutely essential. Your body naturally regulates the temperature down there, but synthetic underwear restricts airflow and traps in the heat. Cotton allows everything to breathe, keeping you at a cooler, adequate temperature to really cultivate a healthy reproductive environment. Section 4, when to see a doctor. Let's cover when to bring in professional help. Even with all these fantastic lifestyle changes, you need a clear game plan for when to call a doctor. There is a golden medical rule for couples trying to conceive. Generally, you should consult a doctor after 1 year of unprotected sex that hasn't resulted in a pregnancy. However, if the female partner is over the age of 35, that timeline accelerates down to just 6 months. And a quick caveat, if you already know you work in a high-risk occupation or have a known medical condition, skip the timeline altogether and see a doctor before you even start trying. So what actually happens when you do make that appointment? Well, here is exactly what you can expect on your end. The specialist will typically run a semen analysis, which is how they determine your exact baseline sperm count. On top of that, they might perform an ultrasound. This is done to check for any physical blockages in the scrotum or the actual ducts and tubes where the semen travels. It gives them a really comprehensive look at both the production side and the delivery system. And here is why everything we've talked about today is so important, regardless of what your ultimate path to parenthood looks like. Improving your sperm count is going to improve your chances of a successful pregnancy across the board. Even if your doctor eventually recommends IVF or a highly advanced procedure like injecting a single sperm directly into an egg, doing the work right now to boost your baseline health will drastically increase your overall chances of success. We've covered the science, the daily lifestyle tweaks, and the hidden environmental hazards. From adjusting your bike seat and opting for cotton, to hitting the gym and simply reaching for some vitamin C, you literally hold incredible power over your reproductive health right now. The data is totally clear, and the steps are actionable. So the only question left for us to answer is this: which small lifestyle or environmental change will you implement today to invest in your future family's health?